So the first question is, if my parents get a dinner invitation and I don't know the family, but I know my parents' friend circle, 99% of them usually backbite. Can I disobey them and not go for the dinner?
A lot of the youth ask these hypothetical questions. And when you ask such a question, it's not an isolated halal haram, yes or no. You are asking about a lifestyle with your parents who provide for you, whom you live under their roof, who you anticipate that will send you to college, and you have to know how to lick their boots in a way, because they're providing for you. But when you come and say, Sheikh, my parents want me to go with them to a gathering, and 99% there will be bike biting, free mixing, can I say no? So I said, okay, say no, because you can't participate in haram. So the guys go and confront their parents as if they have conquered Al-Quds and freed it. No, I will not go with you. This is haram, free mixing. What will you do? I'll sit home and watch Netflix. What was this the Sheikh told you to do? No, but I asked the Sheikh, 1 + 1 = 2, and he said 2. Khalas, alhamdulillah. There is diplomacy, there is wisdom, there is kindness and dutiful and being obedient. So many of the youngsters are professionals in diverting and repelling their parents away from Islam. Your parents hate Islam because of you. And you're the reason. Because you don't have the diplomacy. Ya akhi, you know how much it means to your father that you go with him. Yes, there might be haram. Don't sit where it's haram. So, I don't go, Sheikh. No, go. But show your father that you're going for his sake and to honor him in front of his relatives and friends. When there is haram, take yourself out, go to another room, go outside, do anything, put your iPods, try your level best to have a win-win. Yes, you're not allowed to sit where there is backbiting or free mixing, but improvise. Don't make it a clash. It's not either black or white. There always can be a room for innovation in a halal way, not innovation and bid'ah. Innovation to make things softer. Your father would appreciate, though he knows where you're coming from, because you came and honored him, and you show him that I'm coming just to honor you, my father. And Allah knows best.
The next question is, if I listen to the Quran instead of reading it, will I get the same reward, and will it count as not abandoning the Quran?
This is an issue of dispute, but the majority of scholars say that reading the Quran is more rewarding than listening to it. Why? Number one, this was what the Prophet used to do most of the time, alayhi salatu wasalam. Rarely he used to ask people to recite the Quran to him, as per the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, the Prophet came to me and said, read the Quran. So I said, how can I read the Quran? And to you it was revealed. He says, I like to listen to it from someone else. So he read until Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, until he reached ayah number 40. And then he said, Hasbuk. And the Prophet was weeping, alayhi salatu wasalam. But this is rare. The majority of that, he was the one reading the Quran and offering night prayer and the likes. So listening to the Quran, no doubt it's rewarding. But is it more attentive to than reading it? No. When you read, you combine all your senses, looking and contemplating and watching visually. But listening is rewarding, and inshallah those who listen to it are rewarded for it, but definitely not as much as reading it, and Allah knows best.
The next question is, can meher be in forms of other than many? money like property or education?
The scholars say that mahar can be of anything that has a value. So in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, when a man wanted to marry a woman who displayed herself to the Prophet ﷺ, she offered herself to the Prophet, and the Prophet had no interest in her. And she was standing there, and the Prophet was looking elsewhere. And he did not show any interest. So a man stood up and said, "O Prophet of Allah, if you don't have any interest in her, give her to me in marriage." So the Prophet asked him, "What do you have? Any money?" The guy was stone broke. So the Prophet said, "Even if you get a ring of iron." Yani, what is iron? Nothing, not silver, iron. He said, "Allah, there's nothing. I have nothing." So the Prophet said, "Do you memorize the Quran?" He said, "Yes, I memorize surah so and so and so." So he said, "I give her to you so that you make her memorize these surahs of the Quran as a wage, as a mahar." And they got married because of this. So anything that has value can be a form of mahar. We always appreciate something that is tangible, because it so happens that years later, maybe there is a difference of opinion, or they can't live together and they have to divorce. The woman asks for khul'. The man says, "Okay, give me back my mahar." So they come to the judge. "What was your mahar?" She says, "A trip to Hajj." "Okay, did you go?" "No." Or she says, "Yes, I went." So how much? This is a problem. We don't have the value. So many times they divorce, and the woman says, "He did not give me my mahar." The judge says, "True?" He says, "Yes, it's true." "Okay, give her her mahar." "What is her mahar?" I said, a trip to Hajj." "From where?" "From Los Angeles." "Ya Latif, long way." "Okay, how much?" The guy says, "The approximate cost is $9,000. The woman says, "No, it's $25,000. Why?" "I was first class and staying in the clock tower or Dar al-Tawheed, and she's going for 5-star package, and he's going for normal package." So which one? They start to dispute. But when it's written, Hajj journey costs 7,000. There is a dispute, there is a divorce, khalas, he has to pay the 7,000. This is why we say it has to be tangible and fixed, so that they would not become a issue of dispute in the future, and Allah knows best.
The next question is, I have had a difficult marriage in the past 10 years, and now I have decided to get separated. My dad agreed initially, but as I'm not independent at the moment, he wants me to either get independent or go back to my husband. I used to work earlier and gave every single penny to my dad, and now I have no savings or investments. I'm actively looking for a job, but my dad keeps on abusing me. Is it okay for me to leave my house and my father?
Do what? If you don't want to go to your husband, and if you don't have a job, and if you don't want to stay in your husband and your father's house, excuse me, what are you going to do? Work as a prostitute? Yani where? Be logical. Either you stay in your husband's house, tolerate his abuse, and be a decent wife, or trash him and ditch him and force yourself upon your father without working and tolerate his abuse. But to go and live elsewhere, where? With what income? And who would take you in? This is not logical. Some women are impulsive. They take decisions, they shoot, and then they ask questions. And they say, "Oh, Wallah, Sheikh, what should I do?" Now you ask before you make such a decision, so that you know what your options are. And this is why it is important to consult elders.